Okay everybody, welcome to Reassembly. Now this is a little game that I saw a video of, played a little bit of, and then had to buy straight away because it just fulfills all the criteria for a lot of fun in space basically. Now, I forgot to delete that one. Yeah, so I've deleted all my saves, but you have nine save slots, even though they only got 8 because they start at 0. And for this, you can pick whichever faction you want. When you first start out, you're only going to have one faction, and that is this one. And as you progress through the game, and if you actually destroy a lot of the other faction, you get to use their ships. I don't know why that one's hard mode, because he's pretty tough actually. But yeah, anyway, so in the beginning, you'll have a ship, and as you can see, it's pretty modular. It's made up of all these little fragments here and there. Music went loud then. And if you jump in game, this is your ship, and it's controlled by simply moving the mouse around, and as you can see, the turrets point towards where you're looking. So if you press left mouse button, you can shoot your turrets. Yeah, nobody cares about all that. And that actually pushes your ship backwards, so if you press W, you go forwards, A, S, D, the usual stuff, backwards, left and right, but unfortunately I got caught on something there. Right mouse button fires missiles, left mouse button fires your main turrets. All of that is customizable. Now let me just show you something really cool about this game. I just broke part of my ship, but it regenerates over time. So if you take a lot of damage in battle and then you retreat out of that battle, your ship can in fact recover itself. And it's all based on those different segments you see there. Now as you can see, my ship's pretty tiny compared to space stations, other ships, such and such. If you go to the ignore that. If you go to the map, the music gets very loud again. Okay, that's annoying. If you go to the map, you see that I start on the outskirts. Now all of these are spawners that you own, stations, friendly ships, something like that. It tells you on the right hand side. These are inactive stations. Now all you have to do is hover near them and the station will turn to your colour. Well, yeah, and you own that station. Now, the outside of this so-called galaxy is the safest area, weakest ships. If I power through to the middle, you'll see just... I want to do a tutorial. You'll see just how big and vicious the ships can actually get if I stop crashing into things. There is an auto zoom mode depending on speed and such, but I'm never too fussed about that. So there's some enemies. Let's try and avoid them. Try and find some bigger ones. So you see the ships are getting bigger. Ships are getting much bigger. So you don't want to go near them, and I got destroyed in seconds. Now, onto the bit of this game that makes it really fun. And that is very loud. It's very loud music again. You know what, I'm going to turn the music off. Because the volume control seems to be a bit screwed on it. There we go. Anyway, so, this is your ship. There are many like it, but this is mine. Now, each of these bits you can build, change, however you like. It's completely modular. These are thrusters. It shows you the price of them for P, and those are the resource points you pick up as you go around the game. You shoot an enemy, you get P. You shoot an enemy, you get resources. When you go back to base, they get changed into... Hang on a second, let me show you that as we go, so it's easier to understand. Because you could also harvest plants for them. Sometimes. Is this the right kind of plants? I have played this game an awful lot, but for some reason I'm not finding what I need to find. Yeah, let's just kill an enemy. So if you hover over them, all your stuff will lock onto them. Missiles, and your turrets should face their direction, but you can still manipulate their direction a little bit. There we go. So I've got 25 resources there, as you can see at the bottom left of the screen. Now you go back to your station. There's the nearest one, there it is. And it will take those resources off you and turn them into credits. Now if you go to the upgrade screen, which is you, it will show you how many credits you've got, and you can use them to buy upgrades. And all of these cost credits. You've got a certain amount unlocked to start with, and you've got some pretty amazing ones there. Some useful ones like the harvester I always go for first, because it means you're harvest range for resources is much further. And then you've got different levels of plasma cannons. You've got very powerful antimatter cannons that are single direction. I don't like the single direction guns because they're very difficult to hit the small moving ships. They do a crap load of damage to bigger ships. So you've got access to all of these things, all unlocked by bringing lots of credits back here and spending them on those. But you can also spend your credits here on gaining an extra 30p. P, as you can see, is ship points or power. Now when you go to upgrade your ship, which is here, you've got a certain amount of points you can use. So you can't just bolt on a dozen cannons because it'll go over your points allowed. Although it is nice to note that I can put on 2 cannons. And that would instantly upgrade my ship power. But we won't do that. Now, all of these thrusters are essential. If you only have thrusters going forwards, you won't be able to turn. So you have to have thrusters left, right, forwards and backwards. Forwards ones pointing that way so that you can actually stop your ship. This one doesn't seem to have a lot of them pointing that way, only a couple of small ones. Thrusters are stackable. If you select something, you don't have to drag it out of here, but you can select it, press middle mouse button and it will copy it. Just so you know. I'm sorry, I got a bit of a sniffle today. I hope that doesn't affect the video. So you can actually stack thrusters on top of each other, and it will give equal amounts of upgrade. So you can have 3 10 thrusters, 10k thrusters on top of each other to get 30k. As you can see here, they've stacked those, lots of 25k thrusters instead of going for one 100k because it's bigger and wouldn't fit in the same area. And they take up exactly the same amount of mass, and these take longer to regrow. Now, a small point about shipbuilding, you have these which you can scale up or down using the comma or the full stop. Now this one here is exactly the same health and mass as 4 of the little ones, but if you're going up against enemies, I would prefer to go for lots of small segments. Because if an enemy's got a big old gun and it hits there, that'll take out the whole segment. But if it hits there, it'll take out that one, and you'll still have protection from the smaller powers there. So it's difficult to explain unless you're in battle, but I prefer it a lot more to have segmented armour, even if it is the same amount of protection over a large area. Later on you get shields, and I layer them to oblivion, and they're a lot nicer. So at the moment we've got this ship. It's quick, it's manoeuvrable, it does everything you want to start off with. Now, you start off in every faction with a bunch of pre-made templates, let's say, and you can switch to any one of them at any time by dragging them up there. And your ship will rebuild itself into that template. Until you've got the thrusters, you can't really do much. There we go. So I've got a dual missile launcher and a couple of little pop guns. It's not a very powerful ship. The one they give you to start off with is the best out of all of the beginning ones, in my opinion. and you can upgrade it nice and easily. Now I have to say, as much as I love this ship, I do upgrade it pretty quickly, because you can add, like I said, turrets straight from the beginning. But you've got to understand, the more stuff you add, the less manoeuvrable it gets. So you need to add more thrusters, it becomes heavier, it becomes a big cumbersome beast. Let's get in there a bit more so you can see what's going on. I tend to play zoomed out because I'm so used to having such a big ship now. All of the weapons you fire and all of the missiles you fire take up energy, which you can see as a bar at the bottom left of the screen. Now, energy isn't much of an issue at this point, but when you get bigger guns, it will go down faster, as you'd expect. But you can get generators, and generators obviously produce a set amount of energy per tick or per second, and counter the amount of stuff you're using up. Ow, ow, ow! Oh. Okay, yeah, we know that. That's all the stuff I've already told you. It seems they've upgraded the tutorials a bit since last time I was here. Put a lot of new information. Look at the size of that one. See, I'm not going to be able to take that guy on. Whatever he's shooting is huge. So let's upgrade my ship then. Now I've got enough to get extra R, 3 lots of extra R. I've got quite a lot more points to play with, over 100. So what I tend to do in these situations is expand outwards. Oh no, don't do that. You could take these together, take those off, there we go. I tend to go for very blocky, gritty ships, and I'm not very good at designing them really, so forgive me if it starts to look absolutely abysmal. But I don't tend to stick with the segmented ship for long. It usually ends up as one big, well, block. And I'm not very creative when it comes to ship design. The last one I made did have wide open wings and started to look like a World War II bomber, which I quite enjoyed. That is a container that stores more resources as you go around, so you add a few more of them and your capacity will go up, but not by much on this size. They add 50 capacity, but your main command module already has 100, so you'll need quite a few of these to counter it. Oh, I should have mentioned first, your command module is, if that gets blown up, that's what kills you. Now these, like all the other blocks, like most of the other blocks, can be expanded in size. These things can carry a crap ton. Let's just bolt them on somewhere. 1,160, as you can see from the notes. There we go. So that'll give you a ton, but obviously you won't be able to fly. So it's a good idea to have a couple of these smaller ones if you're planning to gather a lot. And where's that harvester I had? Oh, that's quite big actually. Let's put that in the middle, but what I'll do, I'll get rid of that little auto fire thing, and I'll put this. This one's a good one, a good block, because it lets you do 1s to 2s points. There you go. And I'll put the little resource gathering things on the side. Actually, no, don't stick on that. Go away. Actually, I'll add a few more of these for ease. Or do I want to just go? You know what? So this is actually better capacity than having a bunch of those smaller ones because it takes up a lot more room. But let's do what I did there and go back to that. In fact, let's switch those round. I'm never very good at designing ships. They always end up looking terrible. Well, at least they're always symmetrical, I guess. Okay. Let's do a bit of that, bit of that. You can mirror these actually, I can't remember what the button is now. But here we go, controls, mirror, M. Job done. Yep, there we go. Cool. I'm going to put some of these guns forwards instead actually, just to make it easier. Oops. Oh, what am I doing? But you could spend so much of this game just sat in the ship builder. You know what, I'm going to put all of them forwards. And I'm going to move this whole thing back a chunk. There we go. And I'll put those there. And that gives us a bit of defence on those. It doesn't matter what's attached to what half the time, as long as they are attached to something. Otherwise they won't count towards your general shipbuilding. Oh yeah, that'll fit nicely on there, won't it? I'm probably not making any sense, but it's... once it's been constructed, you'll understand what I mean. Yeah, that works. Put a couple of thrusters here, otherwise I won't be able to travel backwards very easily. And then do something really fun and cover the front of missile launchers. Oh, not like that. You can mount them sideways, but as you can see, they'll only fire one missile. You know what? I've still got a ton of P left. So let's double them up and add even more launchers. That's getting us close to the end. Let's see how this flies for a bit. It's very segmented. If that goes, I lose half my front end, but it shouldn't be able to go without getting through all of those. So, save, and let my ship rebuild itself. Ah! Getting attacked already. Ow, wow, wow! Go away! I can't fly, I've got no engines. Oh, they've got drones. Some of the racers come with little remote control drone things that they can use. Oh, I'm getting shot to oblivion here. I'm not even spawned yet. My ship's desperately trying to regrow. Oh, there you go, I'm dead. And you leave behind some of the purple resources as well. But now I will reappear complete at my last spawn point. So this is my ship. Did I really do that? Did I really go and add that on and not do it to the other side? That is so uneven. Can I mirror that? Yes, I can. Oh, and it still has enough points, but that looks hideous, doesn't it? I must have accidentally bolted it on when I was moving a load of other stuff. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, that might work a bit better. These are pretty powerful thrusters, so... It still looks like a very uneven, top-heavy ship, though. Come on, rebuild them. Oh, if you hold X, it stops you in your space, depending on what you actually... Yeah, I've got nothing that's really pushing me backwards. Let's put a thruster on the nose, shall we? Oh, where's it? Let's just put a couple around there. That'll do. That's as close to my points limit as I can actually get, I think. There. Now I've got some reversing. Or some stabilising, anyway. Okay. Now I'm sending out quite a sensible amount of missiles, aren't I? And I should have 4 cannons. There we go. Which sound kind of pathetically small at the moment. But I do have a lot more resource storage, which is going to make it easier to gather lots of stuff in each trip from the enemies. So I can stay out for a while. It's like the old Call of Duty stuff, where as long as you dip your head behind something, you can regenerate your health completely and then carry on again. Where's that big beast? Let's see if I can take him on. Oh, not take him on, I'm tiny still. Stand still. There we go. Go away, drones. You do have auto turrets that you can use that are like they're like point defense, and they take out drones and things, but I haven't got any of them at the moment. That thing is huge. I might avoid him. But yeah, I have spent hours and hours on this game before, and I have made some really ugly ships. Spent a lot of time making really ugly ships. But I don't have any of them I can show you just yet. Because I deleted them all for the video. I should have really backed them up. I'm not sure I can make too many changes at this point. So basically, the beginning of the game is you got to harvest plants or farm the smaller ships like these guys. Go pick up their resources. Bounce off of the occasional thing. As you see, the plants will occasionally give you the little purple resource things, and as long as you've got the harvester, you can make good use of that. Later on in the game, you do actually get aggressive plants that will attack you. They're yellow as a faction, and they can be quite nasty because they're constant little drones that they send out against you. Oh, here we go. Speak of the devils. And yeah, it gets quite painful. Ow, ow, ow. And my ship is very weak at the moment, so I'm not going to go there. Now, one other thing to note before you're all ready to go on your own, this is only going to be a quick preview, is if you look at the map, you'll see that it's divided into colour blocks. Now, my race is grey for some reason. Now, if you go into the middle of one of those colour blocks and you kill all the ships there, then that section will turn to yours. Let's go over to this orange section here. They're only small ships. I'll try and missile him to death. Missiles aren't great in this game. They don't have enough tracking to keep up with these guys. There's actually quite a few guys in this section, but if you look at the map, there's not many others for quite a way. So if I clear out these little chaps... Oh no, I'm being ganged up on. I feel like I've got a pathetic little pop gun. Oh, there's nothing left of my ship now. Run away. Run away. Yeah, I'm pretty much back in business now. Doesn't take long. There we go. Okay, now if you look on the map, these have all changed colour already. Unfortunately, those yellows seem to be spreading, and they're going to be a bit of a pain until I've got shields and things. There we go. Come on. Yep, okay, so I've taken over that area. Oh no, it still must be another orange around here somewhere. Where is he? It's not changed colour yet. Ah, see, these plants haven't been touched for a while, so they've got quite a lot growing on them. Those are just flowering parts, I guess. Right, come on, where is that last ship? Desperately trying to not fly into... Oh no, they've taken over another point to the north. North? Does that even work in space? You know, I cannot find them, but this has gone black now, so they must have been blown up by somebody else. But yeah, you get the point. You can slowly but surely take over the territory of half of the galaxy before you get bored of doing such things. Let's go take over another station, because that didn't go too successfully last time. There are bosses as such, like you would have in other games, but they are not what you think. On each map you have agents. We can't see them yet. They're called agents. They're basically big fleets, and from what I gather they're player-made fleets that have turned out to be very successful that they're now using against other players. They're not actually player-controlled. They're AI-controlled, but they are vicious. Some of these fleets are just like, wow. Even your best ship with the maximum amount of resource points on it, you can't really hold up against them. Oh no, not these guys. No, I don't want to go in there just yet. Alright, I'll take over this one here. And what these do is they basically give you another resource drop-off point and another respawn point, both of which are quite important. And done. It's now mine. And this will take resources from the area and take parts from the area and use it to upgrade itself. They never go too far with that. Are these all resources around here? Why aren't I picking them up then? Ooh, let's see if I can take on a bigger ship now that I'm hiding in the shield. Come on. Hide in the station shield is a bit cheeky, but still. If we can get a load of points for it, who's to complain, eh? There we go. His command module must have been quite close to the front then, because this guy is now dead. You don't get any points beyond once you've killed the command module. So there's no point in hacking away at the remains. There we go. But yes, this was just meant to be a quick look, so I hope you guys consider buying the game, because I did, and I usually don't make snap decisions like that. But it fills the gap nicely between Space Pirates and Zombies 1 and 2, because it's along a similar vein, I think, and you can spend so much time upgrading your ship, and it's very rare to have the customizability that this does, and you can come up with all kinds of interesting shapes that are way more interesting than mine. In fact, if you guys post some in the video comments, I would be appreciative, because I never have any creative skills on this kind of thing. So please do. Please buy the game to help the developers and show me what you've done. And I will see you guys later. Might even post another video of when I got better ships. Much better ships. Okay, signing off.